Hi, my name is Osman and I'm trying now to make my first YouTube video. Um, there is a guy on YouTube called Rich Strickler. He has a YouTube channel where he has a competition called Desert Island Dozen. And I would like to participate in that. Um, the competition rules is that I'm going to choose 12 albums from the classic rock period between 1964 and 1989 that I will bring to a desert island. Among these albums, there should be one Beatles album and one Rolling Stones album. And to get these two first out of the way, my Rolling Stones pick would be Exile on Main Street. I'm not a big Rolling Stones fan. If it hadn't been in the competition rules, I would probably not bring any Stones albums. But this is one of the few I have, so I will go with this one. For the Beatles, I would go with my favorite Beatles album, Rubber Soul. I think this is a really nice album. I like most of the songs on here. My favorite is If I Needed Someone, but I like all the songs on this album. I think it's an incredible album. I would bring an album by Pink Floyd, and most will probably bring Dark Side of the Moon or Wish You Were Here. But my pick is Atom Heart Mother. I think this is a criminally underrated album. I really like the Atom Heart Mother suite. I like If, yes, I really enjoy this album. I think it's a very good album. I would also bring On the Beach by Neil Young. I think this is an underrated and really nice Neil Young album. I really love this album. I think the title track is my favorite on this album. But I also like Ambulance Blues, See the Sky About to Rain. There are a lot of great songs on this album, I think. Then I would like to bring 5 Leaves Left by Nick Drake. Nick Drake, really nice, mellow, folk, quite depressive, but I love this album, especially Fruit Tree and Riverman. Really like those songs. I'm a big Joni Mitchell fan, so I would certainly bring a Joni Mitchell album. And my choice this time is The Hissing of Summer Lawns, my favorite Joni Mitchell album. I think this album is great from start to finish. I really like the opening track on France Dickens in France Dickens on Main Street. I think it's wonderful. I'm also a big fan of Bob Dylan, and this is my favorite album of all times, Desire, which I certainly would bring. I love this album to bits. Everything about it. My favorite is probably One More Cup of Coffee, but I love everything on this album. Then I'm also a fan of prog rock, so I will bring Close to the Edge by Yes. The title track here is amazing. I also really like And You and I. Amazing album. I would also like to bring Leonard Cohen, Songs of Love and Hate. It's quite depressing, but I really like this album, especially Avalanche and Joan of Arc. I really love those songs. I would also bring, this is my last CD that I would bring, I would also bring Rain Dogs by Tom Waits. I think this is a really creative album, really fun album, lots of different genres. I really like all of it, really. Bit of a jazz influence, Really like this album. I'm also a devout Christian, so I would bring a Christian album, and then I would bring this one, Larry Norman, Up on This Rock, one of the first Christian rock albums from the 1960s. Fantastic album. Really like songs like especially The Last Supper and Forget Your Hexagram. Really nice album, worth listening to if you haven't. And then I also enjoy quite a lot of music outside of this time period, so I would bring an album that kind of harkens more to the music that would come after it, and that is Isn't Anything by My Bloody Valentine. This is from 1988, so it's in the time period, but sounds more like something that would be done in the 90s. It's a really early, groundbreaking shoegaze album. I really like noise rock, and I think this is a wonderful album. Thank you for listening to me, and maybe I'll see you again.